coming soon. Oh, be ready, for Jesus is coming soon.
Amen, amen. Merci, merci Doudou, merci Anchai.
All right.
Okay, bye-bye. Nous bonne journée.
Okay, Udu.
Okay, Doudou. Our Majaba. And always appreciate it when she calls in to say us a special song or sing us a special song or give us a special verse of scripture. Sanusha, it is 2 minutes after the hour of 10 o'clock, and as promised, every Wednesday we do have our two honorable men in studio in the persons of Mr. Peter Josie and Sir Michael Chasney. They are already in their seats, so let me say a special good morning to you, Mr. Michael. Good morning, sir.
Morning, Mr. Champion. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, thank you. And to you, Mr. Peter. How are you, Mr. Josie?
Yes, good morning, Champion.
Yes, good to see you guys looking sharp as always. I wanted to start somewhere this morning, a clip I got on the news. I don't know if I will get it here. It had to do with the opposition leader, and he was at a press conference, I think it was sometime yesterday. And boy, I'm trying to get it here on my phone, but apparently it's giving me a little hit. Anyway, I'll get it a little later because I just wanted to get that in. But I saw him at a press conference and he was talking about the various things that he's going to change. So, Michael, oh, there it is. There it is. So I'm going to play that just so we could start things off here.
We will pay all the...
saying that they would be playing into the hands of the government if they resort to any form of violence. He says the government will grasp at any straw in an attempt to delay the general election.
Following the Joachim Henry SDA confrontation, Castries Southeast MP Guy Joseph made these comments about the opposition St. Lucia Labour Party.
The Labour Party, and I tell you, you do not associate with violent people and remain calm. And this Labour Party has been preaching violence, no peace. We will fight them. We will do this. They said all the places they would fight us. They didn't say the church. But now they have taken the fight to the church.
During the live Let's Connect program with
here's the opposition leader
constituents that this is a tactic and strategy by the government to help with its election bid. He says the narrative that the St. Lucia Labour Party is a party that supports or encourages violence could not be further from the truth.
Do not get excited. I just want you to vote.
Yeah, you heard that?
They will provoke you.
Just want them to vote.
They'll provoke you. Because what they want to do is they want to paint us in a kind of way so they can say the Labour Party violent.
What kind of way?
You see, I look like a violent fellow?
Listen to that.
All my life, I have never been involved in, I've not ever in my life get a traffic ticket.
So he's speaking about him, huh? Not the
I went
supporters.
to court once.
Yeah. You went to court once.
To be a witness in Tuxedo Villas. I have never caught myself involved in any infractions of the law.
Remember, you had not condemned all the threats.
I look like a violent guy?
Listen,
Is somebody tell you to go and look for a violent politician? You look for Philip J.P.?
Yeah, I'm out there. Yeah.
In fact, some people think I'm too docile.
You heard that?
Some people think I'm too soft.
Some people think he's too docile. But he's speaking about him.
What they want me to do,
I want people to hear this,
is to try to create an atmosphere for them to say Labour Party violence and no elections. No, we're not doing that. You don't know what.
Yeah. So for people to say,
who was the guy talking?
That was the Honorable Philip J. Pierre.
Oh.
So he's saying, do I look like a violent guy? Some people say he's very docile. They say he's too soft. But he has not condemned all the threats that have been made by his supporters.
Could I give you a friendly advice?
Please do.
When you are on this radio station, and I can speak to Honorable Sir Michael Chasney, when we come on a Wednesday, I do not want to hear Philip J. Pierre or any member of the St. Lucia Labour Party. And the reason is quite simple.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter at this time what you say, they say, or what recording the Labour Party supporters hear. it will not change anything. That's one. And secondly, you are just validating what they say. That is how their supporters are going to interpret it. As far as I'm concerned, you see the clip you did about Guy Joseph?
Yeah.
Anything about the Prime Minister, what the Prime Minister says, that's is enough. What we should be playing on this radio station.
That's enough.
Not what Philippia said. What Philippia said is totally irrelevant to the future of St. Lucia.
You see, I wanted to play, and you are very right, I wanted to do that because he has not condemned anything these guys have brought out. But listen to that. It is just about him. He's saying he, as an individual, but he has not said anything about what he's supposed to do.
Philippia is a very weak individual.
Yeah, he is.
He was afraid of his shadow. He will never condemn anything because he get a clout behind his head from the party. What he says, I think Mr. Jyoti is right. These people are irrelevant to the show. Now, if they make something, a point that we think that we should discuss, we'll deal with it, but we should ignore their sayings completely.
And if you're going to do it, you have to papi show them.
Yeah. Now, I always don't bring too much of the SFB on my program, but I just believe that with all the threats that have been going on, this guy still continues to talk about I never condemns anything.
You see, this morning and every morning, you play the song that says that these people are vexations
to the spirit,
and yet you are denying your own
my own self, and
you're laughing as if it's a joke. I'm serious. George Odlum and I always had that problem here. I say, George, when I'm talking serious business, I don't smile because it's not a thing that people want to see me smiling. It's not a joke, and people can interpret it as a joke. If you're laughing and making a serious point,
you're not taking it serious.
Exactly. And you must always remember who you are speaking to and what interpretation they might put to your actions, your facial expression, and your words.
Well, we have something to say about serious.
This is extremely serious business for me.
Of course, I agree.
This is life or death matter, and I don't mean physically life or death. If the Labour Party gets back into power, they can literally get St. Lucia to be like Haiti.
I believe that.
And I don't want in my last days on this good earth for me to find myself in a situation where I consider leaving St. Lucia.
Yeah, I agree.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for the advice anyway.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm the type of guy that know how to take advice.
But my brother, that's why I gave it to you, because I've been there. You are younger than me. I can advise you. And I hope I've done it in a nice way.
Oh, you've done it.
That's right. Merci, Champagne.
So we have here the front page of the newspaper, the Voice newspaper, that is today's paper. It says more artifacts unearthed at Kazamba, SLNT. So Michael, they get a chicken bone because you know a lot of St. Lucian guys go up there. They get a chicken bone. They get a
But did they say what actually?
Well, I have not read it. I have not read it. I just saw the headline there. It says more artifacts are found.
But didn't they say if they found?
If you read the article fully, but you don't, it's a long article. There are signs that something may be there.
Can you believe that?
Yeah, these people are flogging a dead horse. You know, it's a lot of nonsense, in my opinion. But Mr. Jyoti said something that the Archaeological Society
and Historical
But I
Society.
think that they have now brought in the Archaeological Society.
They brought the gentleman back. The gentleman is back on island.
Sorry?
Yeah, the researcher
is
back on island.
Mr. Murphy is back on island.
But this properly belongs to the purview of the Historical and Archaeological Society.
Right. So, let them hang their hat on something that's not there.
No, but that is really, really something. So Michael.
But
we don't want to spend a lot of time on it, Champagne, but I think St. Lucia should just be aware that these people will never stop to prolonging what they call an agony, an unnecessary agony. The construction is going ahead, Cabot has done what they have to do. Let them do what, if they want to spend their time. When I read the whole article, the balance of it, what does it say? That there's a value that we have not yet seen. And how much money that value is going to bring in, and all this nonsense and things.
Yeah, they're adding to the nonsense they have been saying.
Crazy.
But they themselves made a statement earlier.
Yes.
And Cabot agreed with them that if they find anything of value, that they will put it in a special. Cabot promised to finance a special monument to pay homage to whatever they find.
And even if anything is not found, is not found. You see, let me just read a few lines of that. Just for our people, it says the drama between Cabot St. Lucia and the St. Lucia National Trust has taken a twist with the declaration by the letter that identifies further evidence of lifestyle of indigenous people on the side of Casaba, which has embarked for further development by the farm.
These guys are just creating trouble. That's mischief.
I'll tell you what we're going to do, Champagne. During the show, Mr. Josie can have a browse through it a little deeper. He sees anything, but I read the article.
When does this thing stop by these people?
Really nothing.
So Michael, the people of St. Lucia themselves, hold on for them, the people of St. Lucia themselves, the general public needs to speak out on this thing. It cannot just be a few people determining the life of St. Lucians.
So Michael,
can it be?
This morning online, I read what the Deputy Prime Minister of St. Vincent said with regards to the new thrust of the opening of beaches in St. Vincent. Over 1,300 people have applied and 620 or something were interviewed. That's Vincentians. And the manager, the son of Butch Stewart, who is now CEO and chairman, he said that they are going to invest more money in St. Vincent, in new hotels, etc., etc. And it reminded me of the situation. He made no mention of St. Lucia. And I remember the situation when Sanders was trying to expand at the point, Pigeon Point. The kind of fight back and resistance. Up to now, nothing has been done. Somebody must stand up for St. Lucia.
That's what I said.
Somebody must stand up and tell these people where to get out. You understand what I'm saying? Right now, it looked like the new Mr. Chairman, Stewart, is going to invest endless money in St. Vincent, which should have been happening in St. Lucia already anyway, because all of these little islands, these 2x4 islands, are in competition with each other for visitors, for investment, for everything.
Tell you something, Peter? The Prime Minister of St. Vincent realized what he's missed out with Sanders. He's gone overboard. I was there when the initial conversation started about a year ago, and there was a failed hotel. You know how many rooms that Sanders is going to put at St. Vincent? 300. He's going to put beaches in there, into St. Vincent,
And St. Vincent never had a hotel of that size.
Never had that at all, No. And Ralph Gonzalez had his hat out for years searching. Let me tell you something. We only have to go back 20 years. It sounds a long time, but it's not that long. When St. Lucia was in the doldrums of tourism, Sanders is the one that really precipitated what we're doing today. I just spoke to the manager 10 minutes before getting here, Champagne. All three of Sanders hotels are at 100% occupancy.
I know that.
In St. Lucia?
Yes, right
100%
now. I know that.
That shows the marketing skills. And this is what these people do not understand, Mr. Josie. These people, when you have somebody here, instead of them glorifying the gentleman, they're demonizing him. These people have done wonders for St. Lucia.
But the people who are demonizing him are people who are playing politics with our bread and butter.
Correct.
And if these people are doing that in opposition, what will they do if you put power in their hands?
Peter, let me tell you something. One of the reasons why the St. Lucia Labour Party is screaming that loudly for elections, because you know what? One of the reasons, they see the economy coming back at a pace. And they want to. They want to. They don't want to be part of it. They want it to happen under their watch. But it will not happen on their watch, because what is Champagne can tell you. Champagne, this Friday, how many flights it will be? Will be 7 flights, right?
There's going to be 5 American Airlines this Saturday.
Imagine
5 alone, American Airlines alone.
In one day.
5.
In one day. Okay? And then you have, you have JetBlue, Delta, and so forth.
Starting today, there are 3 American Airlines. Starting today.
Imagine that there'll be 2 American flights a day from Miami only.
That's right.
Plus Dallas, Texas.
You have Dallas, you have in New York, and I think there's a Chicago.
You know,
I mean,
what does that tell you?
When everyone was screaming, close the island, close St. Lucia, the thousands of hotel workers and persons that are involved in the tourism sector couldn't make $1. And today, we have not full occupancy at all the hotels. I think the only hotel that is still closed is the St. James.
Yeah.
St. James Hotel.
Right.
And I heard that Sugar Beach are doing some renovations, so they're closed.
They're
going to be back open. Yeah, they will be
but
closed.
They were, last week they were at 100%.
Yeah.
And Shasney was 100%.
Yeah.
All the hotels in the Sufra area have very high occupancies, I'm told.
Now, so Michael, I saw something there, but it doesn't look authentic to me. It says the U.S. Embassy in Barbados has placed St. Lucia on the level 4 for the COVID-19. You heard anything in that regard?
Yeah, but that's been around a long time. We're all on level 4, not only St. Lucia.
I saw a few islands, yes.
All the islands are on level 4.
But are we at level 4?
I think we are.
What is level 4?
These people make their own determination.
And they gave you
what is level 4?
Hold on a minute, let me give you.
Level 4 is a percentage of how many cases you've had on the island and how many presently exist. They take your population and they come with a ratio.
Yeah, but how many levels are there? So I
think level 4 is the highest.
That's what 4 levels.
I think it's the highest level. Level 4 is the highest level, I think.
Yeah.
I think the highest level is level 4.
But that is something. All the islands, Champagne, every single one of the islands are at level 4. Because what the UK is saying, they have what they call the when the cars are operating, the signal signs, okay? You have red, amber, and green, okay?
Orange, green,
so
yellow.
What they're saying, England is now saying, is that they're not stopping people from coming to that at level 4, but when anybody coming to those islands at level 4, when they go back, they have to quarantine. That's what they're saying, yeah.
But we have just lifted 4 of those
but Champagne, nobody's bothering with that.
But
let me tell you something. You are down the airport. You saw when British Airways came in full.
Almost.
Let me tell you something.
People.
These people want to get the hell out of the United Kingdom and America.
Yeah, people want to go
more
out.
than you want them to come
people
here.
Want to go
right?
out.
The people are I just spoke to my cousin, and I think she lives somewhere in the Midwest. She says she's dying to come out there. She said, Michael, I'm incarcerated. That's what it is.
You don't see the people on the television when they show you the news of sports and things in the United States, and that is what is going to govern what England and everyone does. Don't worry them.
Let me say something. Champagne, you called me last Saturday? You were at the airport.
Yeah.
How many people you told me left? 900 people in one day. 900 people left in one day. 800 came in.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me tell you something. Does that sound like a country on level 4 to you?
I don't know why we are up there in that.
So that's why I asked what.
It really doesn't make too much sense.
That's nothing to worry about.
Exactly.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Champagne, myself and Mr. Josie can come in here and say, you know, Champagne, I like your tie, but I don't like your shirt.
That's right. Yeah.
That's our opinion.
It doesn't mean anything to me.
It means nothing.
That's why I asked the question, what is level 4? And I ask it in a serious way, because that can be totally irrelevant to some people. It can be a rollover. There can be another spike. In fact, yesterday I was discussing in a certain forum the new protocols, and I had to remind everybody that the new protocols are for 1 month. It's not for more than 1 month. Correct. So anything you do within that time is also a testing period. Correct. And we have to understand that. But you know what? The Americans who have been frustrated and think, in fact, if you had given Mr. Trump, President Trump, an opportunity, these people would have been traveling since last year.
Definitely.
Because Americans are not used to
But we really have to give it to the Prime Minister and his team. And when I say his team, I mean his cabinet members with the CMO and everybody else that got involved with the control of the coronavirus. It is not out of there. It's not gone away. But
the management,
the management.
You must use the word management.
Yes, the way they
because
manage
this is what the Labour Party cannot do, especially the first leader, the former Prime Minister. Management is a skill.
That's right.
And you can't do it all alone. And that is the other problem we had with the former Prime Minister. He closes himself in a little room behind a desk and thinks that he can work out all of St. Lucia's problems. Alan Shasney, Prime Minister, should I say, Honorable Alan Shasney, grew up in an environment where he has to discuss, he has to speak, he must consult all his technical people in the economic department, in the health and thing department. The CMO is a key person. Without a CMO, he can make no health decision. And that is why he is appearing to be doing so good, because the results of what we see on the ground is not coming from Alan Chastain's head alone.
That's right.
On the other hand, all of the things that happened in the past, including all the things they kibosh, the over tax, not tax, but cost overruns and things. So the mess with the seabeds and everything. One man alone and one or two hacks were responsible. That's the difference. When Philip Pierre said he didn't know anything about seabed and 1, 2 things, I believe him. And that was the deputy prime minister.
Yeah.
I believed him. That can never happen in this present government. Never.
Yeah, I believe that.
Well, you know, I'll tell you something. Comparisons are odious, but we are, as you said, Champion, we're very fortunate to have a government that has managed the economy. And when you look at today, I think I sent you a clipping of Trinidad. Trinidad, with all its money, is heading to be a failed state if they go on the situation. The situation is so very bad now, you know, in Trinidad. Okay, so you know these things will happen, but let's move on.
All right. We wanted to do those. Senator, we do have some photos for you this morning, and we only want to start it early. So, camera crew, could you please show us what Sir Michael has put together?
Yeah. Just let me give St. Lucia a little heads up of what we have today. First of all, I made a trip down to the Greece treatment plant.
Yes.
And I'm very proud to say that at the end of July it will be handed over.
The end of July?
Yes, that's right. So from 1.5 million gallons of water in the south, they'll be getting 5 million gallons of water per day. Yeah. And
that's a huge
in the photos coming up, you'll see all the pipes that are being laid to all the different areas to bring the water to the people. Okay.
Water is life, eh?
That is one. Then, but I think initially, before we see the treatment comes on, they will. I just took some pictures of St. Jude's Hospital, which is tremendous what they have done.
Yes,
we will see it there, and we can move forward on that. Okay, camera crew, we can go ahead.
All right, Senator, bear with us.
Let us see the St. Jude's pictures, please.
Yeah, this morning we have changed the program just slightly. We want to bring you.
But all of the footage. We can discuss if you have anything else.
You had a preamble. You want to start do part of it?
While the camera crew are getting ready here, I made some notes. With the formidable step by government in permitting fully vaccinated nationals and visitors with a 3-day PCR to enter the state and mingle is a step in the right direction. Hopefully, all St. Lucians who wish to see the nation prosper will take a deep breath and reconsider the importance of getting vaccinated. At this time, this is about the only viable option, and we cannot expect government to create any other magic wands at this time other than a vaccine being offered free of charge. We as a people must understand that not cooperating is actually gambling our lives and livelihoods away. We remain convinced that St. Lucians will eventually make the right choice, as they usually do. The only worry at this moment is how quickly reality will prevail. That is, we're talking now about the vaccination. June 15th, 2021, SPLASPA will witness a post-COVID bounty as 7 international flights will arrive with 1,150 visitors, and from June 30th, these numbers will be daily as the Airbnb product starts to develop. This is the result of 50% of the US nation attaining full vaccination. The COVID pandemic has destroyed the economies of the world. Businesses have been devastated, and many will never return. But the only option on the table is picking up the pieces by way of faith, strength, and the vaccine. The business community and the government are currently in discussions to creating an incentive to give St. Lucians, what is that?
It's the door. You have it? Yeah, when you're ready. We want to play it now. Yeah. All right, bear with us on the show. We want to play you some footage that was highlighted sometime last week. I think it was by Sir Michael. Okay, there we are, Sir Michael. We do have some.
Right. There we go. St. Lucia, we're going to give you several photos of the. Show me that photo. Yeah. Of the treatment plant at Grace. This is a project that costs some $70 million US, and there goes all the pipes. We'll have to redo it because Mr. Champagne has a phone giving us some problem here.
That's not a phone, that's the door. Yeah, someone's at the door, so we have that security.
Fine. Yeah, so this treatment plant, the total value, we're going to start again, right? This is the initial part of it, yeah. That's at Grace, and where the south only had 1.5 million gallons of water per day. On completion, the end of July or to the 15th of August, we'll have 1.5 million gallons of water available, 5 million gallons of water, which is 4.5 times the amount of water available to the people in the south. And with the drought coming up, and that's going to be a welcome surprise.
Yeah.
They're also laying all the pipes at the same time to the various areas to bring the south up to something. Now just imagine St. Lucia, the John Cuntham Dam 2 weeks ago, the first phase was completely finished and the people have left to come back next year in the drought. There you are, look at all the pipes being laid to the various constituencies from the treatment plant. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, there we go again. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. More constructions. Yeah. There it is. And all this has been done within the term of the current government, yet they say the government has done nothing. Now,
so that is
this is the hospital, St. Jude's Hospital. Now they're putting the finishing touches on the outside. That's what it looks like. Yeah, a lot of work has been done. Yeah, taking shape. That's just the outside now to start doing the concrete works and bring it up to scratch. Wonderful sight.
Beautiful, huh? Very, very pretty.
Beautiful.
Very pretty.
Yeah,
this is huge.
Yeah, you see where? Okay. He moved a bit faster. I was going to explain where the ambulance would enter, but maybe we can just go. Maybe it will probably count again. Yeah, there we go. You see where you have that blue thing? That's where the ambulance is going to be going in there. And then there's a elevator and the stairs. Yeah. This is another overall view of the hospital. This is again what it looks like. It's really tremendous when you approach and see how wonderful. Look at this wonderful site. Yeah. Great. Wonderful. I think cameramen, I think you all have done your job. You have done the hospital and the treatment plant, and also we didn't have photos, but we'll get it next time. The headquarters of the for the Wasco building that will be finished sometime.
But you were not able to get anything with the airports. The piling, I'm hearing the piling has started.
Oh yes. Oh, I showed it last week. I think they're planning that in the next 21 days, which was 10 days ago, to drive 600 piles. So that would come up to almost 1,000. So they have 3,000 piles to drive. So by the end of next week, 1/3 of all the piles will be driven, which is tremendous.
That is great
stuff.
So
a total of 3,000 piles that have to be driven.
That is great stuff. So you have a solid foundation.
Yeah. So gentlemen, that's as far as the preamble is concerned. Cameraman, have you got? I think you have one more photo to come on. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Yeah.
In regards to which one, the St. Jude's? Oh yeah, we have another We have one more bit of footage, camera crew. Could you just put that one up, please? Okay, so we have that one there.
According to Mr. Frederick, Dr. Anthony, from his past records, has demonstrated an inability to be accountable and should therefore not be given another opportunity to govern the island. He says Dr. Anthony's leaderships and capabilities are also being questioned by Labour Party supporters.
One of the strongest supporters of the St. Lucia Labour Party, who lives in Atlanta, Tony Nicholas, once told Kenny Anthony, you are not fit for office. Nicholas Joseph, I stand corrected. 2 weeks ago, he wrote another article and he said to Kenny, you should have done the honorable thing about after 2006, resign. He went on to say it is not too late. But he said, when it comes to corruption, he says nothing about that in relation to Kenny Anthony, but when it comes to mismanagement, put Kenny Anthony on the top shelf.
Mr. Frederick also took a swipe at the opposition leader for his style of management.
I'll tell you this, Dr. Kenny Anthony. As I said, when it comes to Stevenson King, he's a man. You, Dr. Kenny Anthony, you are a pathological, compulsive, blatant liar, deceiver. Kenny, tonight I call you a categorical, compulsive, pathetic, categorical liar. Kenny, you are a mighty deceiver. You have deceived the House on more than one occasion. And I'll not tell you, take me to court. I'm no master. Do as you please.
The Housing and Urban Renewal Minister expressed curiosity at several issues.
Kenny Anthony fired 3 senators, not because they oppose him, because they simply requested more information. You fired them, Kenny, didn't you? But tell us, how come Earl Huntley disposed of the government property in New York, and he said in court that you did not know and you didn't fire him? Is it because he said you asked him to keep Greenberg a secret? Do you all have other secrets?
Mr. Frederick and Dr. Anthony are arch political rivals. Reporting for the DBS News World, I am Cecil Actel.
Yeah, you see, when these things come up, we have to understand, using the local twang, mépris, okay, what goes on. Any individual in a certain position, that's the kind of thing that happens. And as a matter of fact, Champagne, before this shows up, I want to give you a copy of a tape I got from Barbados, a speech given by the Prime Minister of Barbados, okay, which is very important. You have to air it on this.
Okay, beautiful.
Okay?
All right, beautiful.
I will send it to you shortly, and you will air it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Brother Peters, would you know whether or not these things happen in the other Caribbean countries where political parties, members of political parties switches allegiances? Would you know of it? Have you heard of it in St. Vincent or Barbados? Does it happen?
It happens in every island.
It doesn't happen in the U.S. though, does it? Do you know?
It happens in the U.S. But
yeah, the Democrats switching over to the Republicans.
I don't think there's.
It happens, right?
Man, can you just tell your people? I just got to think that we're not getting our shoe.
Yes, I've gotten. GBD. We are hearing. I've gotten over 1,000 text messages saying that we are not on TV, and Norbert was not on TV either this morning, so we don't know what happened with that. So if you could get us on TV, because we're getting text messages stating that we are not on TV. Yeah.
Yeah, but they do it very quietly, and they do it over time. They don't make a lot of noise about it,
You moved around the Caribbean a lot, Brother Peter and Brother Josie, and in terms of the politics.
Champagne,
have you heard of all this?
I just sent it to you.
Yes, I'll get it.
Yeah, all right.
Have you ever seen of all this hostility, this type of politics with the mépris and stuff? It happens.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah. It happens.
It's not just St. Lucia.
No.
I was involved in a campaign at one time in America. I was not literally involved, but I was with friends of people that were running for mayor. And I didn't see it that way. The opposition would come on your front lawn and put their pictures there, stick it into your ground. You get up in the morning, you see there, nobody could be bothered with it. Everybody just go on their merry way.
They're more sophisticated, obviously.
Civilized.
I don't know about civilized.
Yeah.
I think they're more sophisticated in their politics.
Champion, I was in the midst of my preamble.
Yes.
And I would like to continue it because there's some very important aspects to be discussed here. The COVID pandemic has destroyed the nation, the economies over the world. Businesses have been devastated and many will never return. But the only option on the table is picking up the pieces by way of faith, strength, and the vaccine. The business community and the government are currently, now that's a very, very important point I'm making now, St. Lucia. The business community and the government are currently in discussions to creating an incentive to give St. Lucians another opportunity to assist the nation in reaching the herd immunity, which remains crucial to our survival. This meeting is going on as we speak. We simply must revisit the US, China, Taiwan, and the UK to understand that the vaccine is the answer. The cruise line staff from St. Lucia have all been vaccinated in order that they can return to their jobs and by extension feed their families. Is it fair that this group of persons should bear the brunt of that contribution to assist their country while others procrastinate? These are simple but relevant questions that needs to be addressed. Now, and that is one aspect, Champion. The other important aspect which I want to talk, which has been making the rounds, it has been going on and on and on, and I think it has to be dealt with in a very intelligent manner. The individuals who question government borrowings may need to know what has the nation received in return. You know, you probably have heard it. We don't eat roads. What have you done? Where is all the money? Give it to us in cash, okay? The answer is as follows. The monies that borrowed have been well invested, Champagne.
Yeah.
And here's how they have been invested. The full refurbishment of Victoria Hospital. Victoria Hospital, remember the state of it. It was in a parlous condition, okay? That people were shouting, this is wrong, that. You go there today, regardless of what you heard. The place is in excellent condition, okay? That cost over $150 million to renovate. It's like building a new hospital, okay? Yes. Completely renovated. That's number one. The retrofitting the schools stock. As you know, Champagne, you've said it over and over. The former administration was spending $1 million a year on the schools.
1 million.
We've had the present administration spending $10 million a year. That's 10 times what they were spending, okay? For the last, they left the schools in a poor condition.
Oh yeah.
Amazing.
And they talk about education.
Electricity, doors broken down, horrible condition, okay? Horrible, okay? All that has been done. That's where the money has gone, okay? The annual budget earmarked by the former, the 75% completion of a $250 million hospital, which is the St. Jude, has also been achieved. A $600 million state-of-the-art airport terminal is under construction. The first desilting phase of the John Compton Dam, which has been completed. Remember, the former government put on, is it just 60% on the water bill? And did 66. Nothing about it, okay? The first phase has been completed, okay? Where how many thousand cubic meters have been taken out from the dam? The creation of water supply in both Dennery North and South. The creation of an entirely new water system plant at Grace, which we just showed you. $70 million US.
Yeah.
Okay.
And someone is asking that we should replay it because they didn't get to see the St. Jude's project and the water. They want to see it again.
Okay.
So
are they getting on TV
later.
now?
Yeah. I think we're on TV now. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we can ask while we're talking. We can tell your people.
Okay. Kamaku, you want to play the St. Jude's project and the water project because I think we're just on TV now. So some persons didn't get to see the photos.
You can play everything
so you could play everything that we just played a few minutes ago.
Yeah. So
thank you.
And as mentioned, Champagne, from 1.5 million gallons of water a day, by the end of July, the South will be getting 5 million gallons of water.
That is a lot of water.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a difference.
The most extensive road program in the history of St. Lucia, and 3 major housing projects which have been virtually completed. The closure of the main garbage, that's another thing people haven't. That garbage dump, which was an eyesore in the south, has been closed. And a number of incinerators have been brought in, and you don't even hear about those things anymore. Look at the cost that's been saved by the transportation of garbage to and from, okay? That's automatically reduce it. We fully appreciate the prerogative of political parties seeking mileage to enhance their positions. But regarding sensitive issues, there should be a respectable level of contribution. The manipulation by certain individuals, for instance, that's another very important point I want to make here, of the ECCB report, which has been manipulated, okay? St. Lucia is the largest contributor of foreign exchange within the OECS, based on its vibrant tourism industry, which is well known. The fact that COVID impacted tourism the hardest hit, it is undeniable that St. Lucia suffered the severest blow from that angle. This having been said, as tourism rebounds, St. Lucia will lead the way in recovering. Regardless of the fact that tourism was severely impacted, standard expenses remain in place. For example, government salaries of $40 million monthly, loan repayments of $20 million monthly, health services, and all other essential services had to be addressed. One should not lose sight over the fact that some 100 Cuban medical staff have been in St. Lucia, when salaries and accommodations had to be found to protect St. Lucian lives. These have not been ordinary times, and because of the confidence in the current administration, external agencies have been cooperative in assisting St. Lucia. Most commercial businesses abroad and in St. Lucia have suffered by way of income shortfalls and were forced to seek moratoriums from various lending institutions, and the St. Lucia government was no exception. This has been my preamble for the day, and we can in fact discuss it further, because I think St. Lucians have to understand, Champagne, that over almost 15 months now, when we had less than 40% of your tourism country, of your tourism industry working. That is where your revenue comes from.
That's all where it is.
When you're in a business, you know, take you as a person, Champagne. What happened to your income?
Oh, right? Depleted immensely.
Right? You had to find other ways to exist.
To survive. Yeah.
St. Lucia is no different. No different at all. Okay? Look, for instance, look at Little Dominica. They went down by 17%. St. Lucia went down by 23%. So one would say, well, why? Because the sale of their passports, that was down. That was their main income.
Yes.
So wherever you've been hit hardest is what's going to happen.
Sure.
But you have an administration that has understood what is going on, and this is why they have moved so quickly to get the tourism industry back and running. I'm going to say something to you. I'm making a prediction right now. By September this year, God forbid that the virus does not precipitate in any way, you see major changes in your tourism industry.
I believe that.
And nearly all these people will be back. In July, you have the cruise ships coming in, okay? It will not be what it is, but at least 50%. But over 1,000 St. Lucians have been asked to take the vaccine to return to their jobs.
Exactly.
So this is where we are.
Your preamble, Mr. Josie?
Thank you.
Look at how beautiful that is.
Yeah, gorgeous, gorgeous.
I want to say that it's a good thing that Sir Michael and others who support the United Workers' Party come on this radio and television to say how well the government has done, all of which is true and all of which I support. But I think it is time that we St. Lucians who can think, who can see around the corner a little by analyzing what is happening today, can come to our senses and say, listen, this COVID-19 will not last forever. By this time next year, we may all have forgotten about COVID-19. So as far as I'm concerned, starting today, the 2nd of June, 2021, we must begin to focus on what we do post-COVID.
Yeah.
How do we prepare our people for the new dispensation, the new St. Lucia? We cannot continue to live rum shop to rum shop as we did before. COVID-19, if it has done anything, is to change our hygiene habits.
Yes.
We don't understand, and I was not aware of it, even as a grown man, how often you touch surfaces without meaning to, and often forgetting that you have to wash your hands when you get home for a certain amount of time, and even the steering wheel of your vehicle must be sanitized. So what I want to do this morning is to say to your listeners that yesterday I listened to Mr. Francis, Evangel Francis, the Minister of National Security. I could not listen all the time because I was in my vehicle doing my business. But I heard sufficient, and he said made one statement I think needs to be repeated. And that is that Vieux Fort is where the future development of St. Lucia lays.
Not just the South, St. Lucia.
Not just the South. Vieux Fort and the South is the future of St. Lucia. And I want to add to this by mentioning the two most important projects after water, which we have just seen on the television screen. And that is the development of the port, the tourist port, and the development of Hewanorra International Airport. Now I want to add to what Mr. Francis said. I support what he said about sports, but I want to post a message to Mr. Francis today and to tell him that he must speak to the Prime Minister more often. That is his Prime Minister. Because although sports and bringing the youth together are important, what is crucial for St. Lucia and the South is to internationalize our vision of sports. So we must have a golf course for the South, or in the South, that the biggest names in golf will be in St. Lucia at least once or twice a year.
I agree with that.
That is one.
Yes, sir.
Secondly, tennis. Same thing for tennis. We must develop Vieux Fort in a way that international tennis, almost on the scale of Wimbledon and the French Open and the New York Open, will be coming, the US will be coming to St. Lucia and drawing people with money and expertise in the game, so that our people now, our young people, can find a way to get into there, the government and whoever, the private sector, and to get coaching and to raise the level of those games in St. Lucia and in Vieux Fort to international standards. It's no point in just playing games to keep away from crime. It's important to do that.
That's right.
But if you're going to play so that you can make a living out of doing the thing professionally.
Agreed.
I believe that athletics and football, the same thing should hold. We should have a football field in Vieux Fort that makes all the other pitches, including Soufrière, where we can include Soufrière as a side pitch, but bigger than Soufrière, with more parking space, because Vieux Fort has the room for that. Athletics, to raise the standard of our athletics by making the athletics, you talk about Southern Games. Trinidad has already got this yearly program called Southern Games. So it's a no-brainer to go there and call it Southern Games. Why not organize a youth games in Vieux Fort and call it the mini Olympics of the Eastern Caribbean? That is a level and standard to, I'm thinking. And of course, last but not least, in my humble opinion, is DSH. You already have the vision of DSH. You have the vision of the investors there, what they want to do with housing, port development, airport and hospital and touristic development, hotel development. That is why I said he must speak to the Prime Minister. Because Mr. Francis, Herman Gill Francis, the Minister of Things, I know he means well, but he cannot think only in a parochial manner of Vieux Fort South and a football field here, a court there, this and that there. Vieux Fort must become the international centerpiece of sports, including horse racing, if we have to make a contribution to St. Lucia and to the Caribbean and the world. That is how we have to start thinking. That is how every day I come here after today, every Wednesday, I will be speaking about our post-COVID, all the work that is being done on the roads. It's not to keep people busy only. It's to prepare the infrastructure for building a new St. Lucia. And the Prime Minister has said so ad infinitum so many times. And I believe we now, who come and understand a little of what the Prime Minister is trying to do, must take that vision and help to spread it for him. And that is why in all of the things we do, I remember Leon Hess calling George Odlum and myself to Sandals La Toc, where it wasn't Sandals as yet, to La Toc Hotel, to have breakfast with him and to have a chit-chat. He said, listen, gentlemen, I would like to spend some money to help St. Lucia. I would like to offer you a hospital. I would like you, Mr. Josie, and you, Mr. Odlum, anytime you want, you come to Puerto Rico, the certain cities in the United States, I will take you there at my own expense, show you the hospitals, and you will select one, and I will build it for St. Lucia. And we thanked him very kindly. I didn't know what he was going to say at breakfast that morning, but I didn't let Odlum speak. I spoke before George. And I said, Mr. Hess, I'm very, very grateful, or we are grateful for what you're doing, but guess what? The focus of our attention on the people of St. Lucia is to educate them. If we educate our people to a certain level, they will know how to take care of themselves, how to exercise, how to avoid smoking, how to avoid excessive drinking, and breaking down their bodies at a young age. They will know what to do. So a hospital will be secondary as far as we are concerned. We want education for our people. There can never be a limit that you put on your people as far as education is concerned. And I repeat it today. Apart from everything else we are doing, one of the areas I would like to see develop side by side with tourism, and I want the Prime Minister to speak a little more about this the next time he addresses the nation, is the training of young people in the culinary arts, in all different arts that fits in to his vision of a better and more prosperous growing tourism industry. So I thank Herman Gill Francis. I praise him, I support him, and I hope he takes the vision of a more international Vieux Fort. People will not understand it at first bite, but when they see that airport down there developed, they will know it's in Vieux Fort, but it's not an airport for Vieux Fort. Vieux Fortians obviously will work there, make a daily bread out of there. People from all around the south will be working there, God willing. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
But that airport is an international airport to bring people of all kinds of high caliber, athletics, golf, whatever, to play in Vieux Fort, so that our people can be exposed to that level of intelligence, of education, and of sportsmanship. That is how we have to prepare our people and continue to talk about post-COVID. Because COVID will not be there all the time.
No.
And when you have people talking foolishness about we don't eat roads. And this is coming from the mouth of a guy with a PhD. So it's almost like I have to eat my words. So education is not that important. But you see, Hunter Francois, a former Minister of Education, used to say in St. Lucia, when you send a jackass to university, all you have when he qualifies is a qualified jackass. So you have to be careful what you send. You must send people that are properly socialized, that are intelligent, that have love from their mother and father, who want to learn, to qualify themselves, to come back and help their parents who helped them so much when they were growing up as children, and of course to make a contribution to their nation. But when you send a jackass and they see roads are so crucial to the development of every country. I remember I went to Germany with a trade union delegation when we spent a month all over Germany. And I saw some roads in Germany. Yeah. When I was in America, I spent a lot of time in America. I was on the USICA International Visitors Program. And the roads in America could not compare with the autobahns in Germany. I said, my God, Hitler would have taken over the world just because the way he developed Germany. Yeah. In a space of hours, Hitler could be in about 5 or 6 different European countries, right? Yeah. The roads are so important in Germany, well designed, engineered, and I don't think any country in the world up to today has the standard of roads I saw in Germany so long ago. So roads are crucial, my brother. Even though you do not drive, even though you are pensioned, you are retired, if you fall sick and an ambulance has to come and get you, wouldn't you prefer to be on a smooth concrete road, getting as close to your home as possible, than to be on a rough, bumpy road? You're already not feeling well. By the time you reach hospital, you know, you're probably dead in that ambulance anyway.
Yeah. When you hear a young man speaking that type of, I don't even know the word I should use, that type of nonsense, let's forget about the PhD and the bachelor's and the whatever degree you have. A human being, a young man in particular, speaking about people don't eat roads. Of course people don't eat roads. We all know that. You talk to a 5-year-old and you say, can you eat a road? The 5-year-old will tell you no.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't want to hear that.
And I don't like to be critical of people I know who are basically intelligent. Yeah. But it just shows you the nonsense politics can make people say and do. Yeah. And these are people who have not worked out their own positions in the society. Because one of the things I've learned, and I can pass to Hilaire and everybody else who is in politics, is that when you speak the truth to people and you level with them honestly, even when they may not like to hear what you say, they will respect you more if they know you are speaking the truth to them. And I want to let Hilaire, Philip Pierre, and all of them, in both parties, know that you don't have to lie to people to make them like you. People like to have the unadulterated, untainted truth. Let them decide for themselves. Of course, you must choose your words carefully. You don't go and curse people, insult them, and hurt their feelings. But you must tell them, you must read the Riot Act if that's what needs to be done. You must tell them what the temperature is, what day it is, what year it is, and what you expect of them in the future. They may not be able to measure up, but you have to give them the program of education and enlightenment and training that will take them and their children where you want them to be, to operate in the new society that you're trying to build. And the naysayers, the negative people, unfortunately, I have to say that I don't think the Labour Party was ever that way, certainly not in my time. Because what George and I try to do, and I like when Hermangild Francis mentions, we used to be on the market steps. It used to be called the University of the People. Because we were trying to elevate people and things so. Some people only want to remember, oh, where did the hostility start? The hostility didn't start there. There was always this Harley-Cassian hostility and insults in politics before George and I came. People used to talk about what underwears and whether that kind of nonsense. We never indulge in that kind of foolishness. And we try to bring the people up, especially those people who had never heard about black skin and white mask. Who are the people of Africa that were slaves? Why are they still thinking like slaves? It's because the condition, the way their minds were conditioned to think of themselves in a negative way.
And you would know that better regarding roads. All of the feeder roads that were built during the banana times, had it not been built, the banana economy would not even have taken off the way it did. It
was built to help the banana economy.
Exactly. With all of those feeder roads built by Sir John Compton. So now we are into the tourism era. We are building roads to accommodate the tourism era.
But you still have to do the banana thing.
Yes,
because I've been of the opinion a long time ago that one of the things we need to hold by the scruff of the neck and shake and get it done is to get the secondary industry out of bananas. You know, all the things that can be done with the sewer system, etc., etc.
Yeah.
If you have a team of people working on that and the government understands and working with, and you have to start small. That is part of our problem. We want everything to start island-wide. Start with 5 or 6 farmers in an area, you know, well, these guys are ambitious, they will do what they say they will do, and we'll try that as an experimental plot. Try to make the byproducts of the banana industry and start right there, even including baby feed. These are things that can be done if we put our minds to it and we want to do it. And I believe that this is how we prepare for post-COVID. We will still continue to sell fruits, the 7 fruits that between Taiwan and St. Lucia, we can continue to develop that. The next phase, we must think about how do we store that? How do you process some of them and put on the shelves? That is the next phase. And that is the thinking that we must begin to inculcate in our people, to develop in our young farmers and people generally, to support. Because after Taiwan has shown us how to grow these things, and we can do them successfully, and everybody is producing in abundance, we can't eat all one time. We have to now process, put on the shelves, so that we can make even more money out of it. That is the post-COVID thinking that we have to start all over the island, and every radio station, wherever thinking people are, that is what we should be discussing.
Agreed.
Yeah,
so Michael, before we open up the lines, go ahead.
I just got some more photos of a full update of just an hour ago what is happening at the terminal. Your camera crew will be
at the terminal.
I gave him the
which terminal? Which where? From photos of where? St. Jude's?
The terminal.
Oh, okay.
At the airport.
Okay, beautiful. So we will show that in a little while. When you hear statement, before we open up the lines, we'll show the photos before we open up the lines. When you hear of statements like people don't eat roads, stupid as it is, because everyone in the world knows people don't eat roads. What are they saying, really? So, Michael,
ignorance. Ignorance and stupidity. Yeah.
What are they saying?
Oh, yes. Okay, darling. Good.
What was it?
Okay, then tell him go ahead, champion.
Okay, so we're about to show you a little bit of footage on the development down there at the new airport terminal. I think. All right, we'll get it on the way in another 3 minutes. But Peter, we saw a clip about a week ago or 2 weeks ago where a gentleman, I don't know if he was getting mad, hitting on a pan, with a big spoon, hitting on a cooking pan. And we discussed it here on one of our programs at Crossfire, and we said it was pan abuse. You saw that? Did you see that thing?
I saw it, Champagne. I did see it. But it's interesting.
You didn't see it or you saw it?
I saw it.
Okay.
But I heard a lot of people saying that he's destroying his mother's pan.
Yes.
What came to my mind is not the destruction of the pan, but why people were saying it is his mother's pan. Because as far as I'm concerned, this guy is past 45 going.
Yes.
So if you're that age, what the hell are you doing with your mother's pan? Why not your own pan at your own home, or your wife's pan or something? That is the thought that came to my mind. Why was everybody saying his mother's thing as if he's a little boy? You understand what I'm saying?
Well, it could.
That's how I thought about it.
The only way I could make that judgment on that if he still lives at his mother's house.
That's the point I'm making. Yes. So why were they saying his mother? In other words, a big man who has his wife and children would probably not indulge in that kind of nonsense.
Yeah, it is really nonsense.
But I said to myself, it's not a pan he was eating, it's maybe the Prime Minister's head he thought he was eating.
Just looking at that thing sounds really, really ridiculous. Yeah. But he had been involved in other activities. The guy took a dove, he dived down in the Marshall River at one time. He stood up on the waterfront the time of DSH with a sign in the blazing sun, the 1 o'clock sun, saying no DSH. He stood there for about an hour, 2 hours every day. So protesting against DSH.
So that is one for the...
He's a local person.
That's one for the psychiatrist.
Yes. This guy's local.
He said on June the 6th is when? Sunday or Monday?
This Sunday.
He said he's going to be beating the pan the whole day.
Yeah.
You're going to do what?
On June the 6th. He's coming out with the same pan.
Yeah, he said that because we made a lot of fun of him, So he's
Champagne. So remind me again, please. Don't ask me that question. I've tried my best to avoid calling that individual's name. I know his father. The father and I go back a long way. We played cricket together, right? We were in the same political party. When I worked at the audit department as a young fellow just leaving college, he worked at the Treasury. In fact, the person who was sitting next to me at audit was...
But there's something wrong with him, Brother Peter.
Was Neville Snack. So the three of us occasionally had to talk work-wise. That is Julian, Neville, and myself. I'm sure he remembers that. But so I don't want to go and say anything about his son. So
no, well, you probably won't say anything about him, but I have every single right to say something about him, which I don't do, because he has called me slave, he has called me house nigger, he has called me Alan Chasney's whatever, all the names of in the worst of ways.
Why?
He has called
for supporting
because I'm supporting the United Workers' Party on a program.
So all you have to do is, if I'm all that for supporting Alan Chasney,
yes,
what are you?
Yeah.
When one finger points at you, remember, four of them pointing back at
the same person, exactly.
And you know, I have discovered that it's really a truism. It's really true in life, you know.
Yes.
When you see people insult you, the things they say about you, 99% is more true about themselves, Champagne.
Yeah.
So when people...
honestly, Champagne, what has happened to the Labour Party? Okay, ready?
Okay, so we ready.
Yeah. St. Lucia, we just gotten a number of current photographs of what's happening at the Huronora terminal. And right now, as we speak, 561 piles have now been driven.
That is a lot.
Which is incredible.
That is
incredible.
A lot.
And there we go. This is as we speak. This is what's going on today. Yeah, and we'll show you various photos of what is going on. So please take a quick look at your screen.
How deep are these piles going on?
40 feet down.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
40 feet.
Yeah, over 3,500 tons of steel are being used. Yeah.
Ooh.
So the steel has to be placed into the pile.
You need to take it, because many of us don't get down there, so we're right in your living room showing you exactly what's happening in St. Lucia.
Yes,
right now 190 people are working there, and very shortly it's going up to 600 people. A lot of high-tech. Look at all these are all the various foundations for the different parts of it.
So St. Lucia, I'm going to ring the bell for those of you at home. Your new airport terminal is on its way. Piles have been driven. How many you said right now?
561.
561 has been driven, and they're going up to 3,000.
3,000.
That is a lot.
By September, October,
yes,
the 3,000 will be finished.
Yes.
The next time you will see all the columns going up.
All right. Wow, that is great stuff.
And it's going 40 feet deep. That's a lot.
For those of you, the SLP that said, "Oh, borrowing money to build an airport," this airport is going to pay itself. Is that right, Sir Michael? That's a fair statement.
I'm glad you brought that point up, Shan.
Yeah.
Hear what we're going to say about this whole situation. They have borrowed the money, okay, and they can pay for the airport in 10 to 12 years. The former government were going to give the airport
away
for 30 years.
Just give it away.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
St. Lucians, please, we ask you, think about eating roads and think about spending money.
Yeah.
Who in this world will give you an airport for free?
That's not going to happen.
I mean, do you think we are idiots?
That's not going to happen.
Any company will go and give you an airport for free? Yeah. Why should they give St. Lucia an airport for free?
You know, I was always curious to find out what percentage that the government was going to get from that program, the PPP, the SLP government. How much was going to be coming to St. Lucia?
The only thing that Philip Pierce said they were going to get, the people were going to pay income tax on the money.
That's
not realizing it's the same money they were collecting to give you back in another way.
But
this is great. And after 30 years, when the airport will want renovation, we give it back to you.
So you go and fix it, and you don't have a cent to fix it.
This is unbelievable.
So you have to go back into the same process again, the same program.
But Champagne, no sensible person in St. Lucia believes that.
Yeah, I don't believe that either.
You cannot.
No.
And if you understood the way the former government worked, you know definitely they would be passing things under the table. So corruption is one of the biggest problems with in the Caribbean. A while ago you asked me if there's so much noise in the Caribbean.
Yes.
Remember between politicians?
Yes.
There will always be, because of corruption.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes, I understand.
Peter, let me tell you something. It's not often I disagree with you, but I have to disagree with you slightly. There are a lot of people who believe this nonsense. They have come to me and said to me, but we don't understand why the Prime Minister, when he could have brought on the airport for free.
For free?
For free. I mean, really, it's the same nonsense, Champagne, about giving people money.
Yes.
You cannot give money and get nothing in return for it. And this is the point I was trying to make a while ago.
Yeah.
All the monies that were borrowed, the government can come out and show you where the monies went. St. Lucia has benefited from the biggest road program in the history of St. Lucia. Okay? You cannot take that away.
That is a fact.
And as Peter says, he's an agriculturist. People can now go in and get their produce out.
Unbruised.
Okay? Let me tell you something. The general manager of Sandals, Mr. Winston Anderson, I mean, who has 35 years experience in the tourism, okay? Very well educated gentleman. He told me a year and a half ago, he said, Mr. Shastner, let me tell you something. By the end of 2021, you're going to see a rebound in tourism that you have never seen before.
He said that, eh?
Yeah. And the man is on top. I spoke to him a few minutes before coming here.
Yes.
All Sandals hotels are at 100%.
Yeah.
They're now farming out people. Can you imagine that?
I just wanted to say to you, Sir Michael, I understand what you said about the free thing, but there are people who will believe that because they will believe anything certain politicians say.
That's what he said. That's what he said.
Right. So you have that sector. But it is our job, our responsibility with this station here to try to educate people as to the facts of life. That this is nonsense, doesn't go on. Let me tell you something. I had an uncle who was a miser. You know what he said to me once? Nothing for nothing and damn little for sixpence.
Damn little for sixpence.
Damn little for sixpence. Nothing for nothing. And there's no free ride in life, Champagne.
There's no free ride.
Don't be misled by that.
I know that.
And when a party or a government can make you believe that they will get an airport for free, and you can believe that, it means that you're well done, you know.
Correct.
You're more than a donkey.
This is why I wanted to play.
You are here for a job, you know. You have a responsibility to try to, even though if 20 of them believe it, and you educate one, you want 20th of the way. We have to continue saying the thing over and over.
Free. Nothing.
There are St. Lucians I know, Champagne, that listen to your show.
Yeah, they do a lot.
And these are the people that have to help us disseminate this information. This is very, very important.
The Labour Party, the only reason why they went with that PPP program with the airport because they couldn't get money from anybody. No one was willing to borrow them any money.
No one was willing to lend them any money.
Lend them money, that's right. Lend them money.
Here's the stupidity. The the current Prime Minister, as Minister of Tourism, left a plan in place for those people. They would have collected $250 million over a 4-year period. They stopped collecting the money and let the airlines take the money. Can you imagine that?
A campaign promise.
All these guys sitting around their little king, who never strong enough to tell him what the position is.
And you see something.
Let me just say something to you. I'm going to send you another clipping I got last night.
Right.
Sent by a business person in Trinidad who said, the problem they have in St. Lucia now,
in St. Lucia or in
Trinidad, he's not listening.
He's not listening.
He is not listening and not doing. The country is falling apart.
Wow.
There's a prediction that Trinidad could end up as a failed state. Can you imagine a country with all that wealth?
All that wealth,
to be in that situation? And if you want, I have the tape.
You send it to you. And they just had an election, and the election was last year.
Correct. You know what I mean?
They just had an election.
But I sent you, Champagne, what the Prime Minister of Barbados said yesterday.
You want me to play that now?
You should, we don't want to take a long time, but let the public hear 5 minutes of what she had to say.
Okay.
But before you play that very quickly, what I want to say, part of our problem in St. Lucia, and in the Caribbean too, Trinidad included, is that some of us are so nice, we are so courteous, we are so religious and disciplined and nice, you know, and civilized. But what do you love, Champagne?
Yes, oh yes.
That we refuse to call a spade, and that is part of our problem. There's nothing more asinine than the kind of thing that the government did with the airport. And that is why some people don't understand it, because the average St. Lucian who understand it, and they cannot believe the government would do that.
Now they're very strategic, you know. Listen to what they did. There was that company already in progress. They were doing some drillings in about 2009 for the new airport. Dr. Anthony came in and they blackmailed Guy Joseph. They said, oh, Guy Joseph was involved with the company. What's the name of the company again?
Lagan or something so?
No, not Lagan.
It begins with an A.
A&M. A&M something.
Yeah.
A&M. So they said to put it into the minds of the people that Guy Joseph was into corruption with A&M or whatever.
So they have to change the company.
So they have to change the company. Yeah. Over how many millions of dollars were spent for the study, you know? Yeah. So they put that in the minds of the people.
Do you know the facts? The current Prime Minister had a very good relationship with the chairman of American Airlines.
Yes.
American Airlines designed that terminal
for
$2.5 million for free.
I remember
and
that.
Gave it to them.
Yes.
You know, when the Labour Party got in, so they can have their own control.
Yes.
They paid American Airlines $2 million, paid them, and so they can own the plans and they can give it to who they want.
What?
Can you imagine that?
That is news. I'm hearing that for the first time.
But again, it's bad management. You are poor.
Mr. Michael, let me try to say. I want to say that again.
Yeah.
American Airlines gave us a gift, so to speak, for a plan
for a new terminal.
They paid for it.
And let me explain something. When somebody gives you something, it's still their concept.
That's right. I understand that. I understand, right. But we didn't put in any money.
Right.
The Labour Party came in and paid American Airlines that they give them.
They could own the plans.
Goodness, these people.
Can you imagine that?
That time they didn't want freeness. They didn't want freeness.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to give it to their friends.
That's what it is.
Who would pass the freeness under the table for them.
So
that's
they gave it to the people, to the PPP people.
Yes.
And supposedly to give it for free.
Yes.
So let us suppose they did it for free. What about the $2 million you paid for the plan?
Yes.
Is that free too?
Yeah, they probably sold it for $3 million.
I don't know.
My goodness with these people. But thank God we were rescued, huh?
These guys are...
Anyway, Senator, we want to play just a few minutes of an address or
if you want to, if your time is against you and you want to play it after the show or a little bit, or you want,
let me just play about 2 minutes of it, 2 or 3 minutes of it.
Let St. Lucia hear for 5 minutes what Prime Minister Barbios just said.
Yes. Or we wanted to do. You have that footage, camera crew. Give us that footage first, and then we'll do that with
it's on our
we
phone.
did it already.
No, I only sent it on your phone. I didn't send it to him.
Oh, he doesn't have it, so I have it. All right. So we're going to play that with Madam Mia Motley of Barbados, Prime Minister. So let us hear what she had to say. It's a few days. Yesterday?
Sorry?
That was yesterday or a few days ago?
Yesterday.
Okay.
Good afternoon. A matter has happened in our society about which it is impossible for me to remain silent. I refer specifically to the video that has been put on social media that seeks to glorify gun violence in a most regrettable way. I want to say that I am horrified at the video, and I am personally disappointed in the artists who have not recognized that there is an obligation on their part to be able to accept that to whom much is given, much is expected. These artists, many of them, have labored in the vineyard, struggled in the periphery, and have reached a point where they have achieved, in some instances, national acclaim. But national acclaim carries with it the burden of responsibility. And while there may be some who may claim that there is artistic license for artists, let us remember that not everyone in our society understands the use of artistic license or sarcasm. And that is why, for example, we often have to speak recognizing that there are some among us for whom there is not the maturity or not the wisdom to recognize that this is not how you behave in a civilized society. I want to say that there has to be a zero tolerance approach to gun violence in this country.
Yes.
And there are those...
That is, I like what you said, a zero tolerance for gun violence in this country.
Who sometimes have to be awoken to the reality that you cannot play light with issues such as this. I support entirely the Minister of Home Affairs in his comments in today's paper, and I go further, that any government with which I'm associated cannot and will not be supporting anybody who fails to apologize to the people of this country for this behavior. I'm not asking you to apologize to me nor to the government, but you need to apologize to the people of Barbados, because there are too many victims of gun crime in this country, as recent as today. And this country cannot in any way have any level of tolerance for anyone who promotes gun violence in any form. Well, I don't even like toy guns, far less real guns. And the bottom line is that we also have to recognize that persons who have put this video up have a responsibility to take it down. And in addition, therefore, to the apology, I expect you to take it down. And I say again that the government cannot support anyone who believes that it is okay to compartmentalize our support for them in one place and take it away in another place with respect to the use of gun violence. I therefore ask those persons who have been involved to please apply your heart to common sense and to recognize that at this point in time, this is not the message that we need to be sending to any Barbadian or any person in this country or any part of the world for that matter. And I ask you therefore, please, to apologize to the people of this nation, and also equally to ensure that that video is taken down, and any association that I have with any other entity outside of government, I will also insist that there can be no kind of meaningful relationship unless there is a willingness to meet the country where it is, and that is zero tolerance on gun violence.
All right, that was Prime Minister Mia Mottley.
I want to say two things about this thing.
Yeah.
Number one, Norbert has consistently said that our people in the media have to be more educated and more respectful and understand what they're doing when they publish all these items.
Yeah.
We just showed something here with Mr. Frederick abusing Dr. Anthony openly, calling him all kind of names. And this is what we're saying, and that's one of the reasons why we put it on. And here is Mia Mottley giving you the examples of what's going on. Because this kind of rhetoric breeds contempt. We have the same amount of gun violence we have here. Barbados is experiencing the same problem. I had two business people call, and that's why that tape was sent to me. Okay? And I said, we have the same problem in St. Lucia. So I'm very glad, because Mia Mottley is one I respect. She speaks eloquently, and she said it in a mouthful. There should be zero tolerance for that behavior.
But Sir Michael, those speeches have been said, and not to take anything away from the speech, those speeches have been said by multiple prime ministers throughout the Caribbean. But we still have the problem, Brother Peter Josie. What is we still have the problem. Those statements have been made by Sir John Compton, it has been made by Dr. Anthony, it has been made by even our current Prime Minister, not in the same vein, but in, you know, and we still have the same problems.
I'll say something to you. I don't have the answer.
Yes.
I don't have the answer.
Yeah.
But you see what Mia Mottley just said there? My humble opinion is that these prime ministers, Mia Mottley, Prime Minister Chasney, Rob Gonzalez, and the various people, need to get together and formulate a plan. You know, they have what you call, is it not the SSU, the
RSPS or something like that.
Whatever it is, okay? And somebody called yesterday or the day before that these people, that information should be passed on them, and we as a nation should try to address them. Because as you said, it has been said, it is getting worse, Champagne.
A country that does not manufacture guns have more guns than the countries that manufacture.
But it's being precipitated by individuals out there on the radio. We need to raise the standard of our media. We need to raise the standard because what is going on is unacceptable.
It is very unacceptable.
The bottom line is the drug culture. The guns started coming to St. Lucia in a serious way when we moved from marijuana to the white lady.
Yeah.
You understand? Thank you.
Yeah. took a little time out there with some water. That water was supposed to be given to you ahead of the program.
Well, I think we're running out of time, Champagne.
Yes, we're going to do a half hour of our phone-in period. Sanusha, if you'd like to call into the program, 4560931 is our number, and you could talk to my guests here on anything you'd like to. 4850931 also. Beautiful morning to you. Hello.
Morning to you again.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Michael and Great Peter Joseph. I've enjoyed the program this morning, but Champagne, we have a problem with the TV. I think we all need to look at that carefully.
What is that?
The TV. We have a problem with the
TV. Oh, yes. The GVD TV has been having a little issue for the whole day. All day.
Ask him if he has it now.
Is it on now?
I even turned it off because it was making sense.
Okay. Yeah. He said it's not on now. It's off, right?
Yeah, I have it off.
Yeah, okay. I think the back one, you should check it out.
Okay, but I haven't seen the pictures that the last set of pictures on the airport piling.
Oh, you have not seen the pictures on the airport piling? So
that is happening continuously. I think that needs to be checked properly, and that we could have a
yes.
Good speed on the
all right, we'll have a little talk with the GVD crew.
Yeah, I want to make a contribution.
Yeah, go ahead.
In regards of what Peter said about the international sporting that he would like to see, as you could remember, Champagne, I did bring that up with the Prime Minister, but I didn't speak of the golf course, and I'm thankful that Peter brought that up. And I want to say to Peter that we have a football stadium. It also has the track and field. That's the George Odlum Stadium.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. So what I have spoken to Peter is a cultural center, tennis center,
right,
and a cricket stadium,
right,
in the south. I don't know if I'll have your support on that.
You have my support, and what I tried to do was to raise the standard of what I suspect the minister was alluding to. We have to raise the standard of these places so that international sports can be played there. Tennis, golf, football, cricket, everything.
Yeah. I mean, we are good at cricket and football. We're not even playing cricket in Viewport now, I heard.
Yeah.
But we need to win home and...
Yeah, but we have to think of this as post-COVID and keep working at it.
Yeah. I hope that we'll be able to form a committee to push the sport in the south area. I know that's your hometown.
I know, and Viewport has always had talented footballers and cricketers. I know that for a fact.
Make sure if we live for a few more years, and I'm hoping we live, that we could foster something collectively towards our hometown.
Yes, I hope so myself.
Okay, thank you.
And another thing, caller, I am almost certain within the next few years we'll be getting a major road, a major highway between the North Grosley, somewhere there, and Viewport, so that trip will be a lot easier.
Yeah, with the tunnel and this sort of thing.
Exactly.
With modern technology, there's a particular machine. It could go through the rocks and paving of the road at the same time.
The engineering is possible.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks a lot, caller.
Thank you very much.
Now the caller, we have a call coming in. Special good morning to you. Hello.
Good morning, Jonathan. Good morning to your panel.
Good morning, sir.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah, you all touched on a number of issues there this morning. Very interesting. But I know I did not get enough time for me to hit the nail on the head. But I'm starting from the police. They need outside help. That's for sure. Because for a little country, what is happening now, they need outside help. I keep calling for that from last year. Number two, when you look at St. Vincent, and I heard Sir Michael because he has more expertise in that field in terms of the tourist industry. Now St. Vincent is getting a free 100-room hotel. And when I really listened to Sir Michael, I agree with him. Probably we could have get another expansion of standards back here. But the truth of the matter is, well, it's gone to St. Vincent. I recall a few years ago when Sandals wanted to do 100 room, or they would have made something with 100 rooms. They denied them. And they went to Grenada, and Grenada got it. Then you look, there's a number of issues. Then you talk about Casablanca. Trust me, the trust they have lost it. They're just trying to destabilize this country by looking for all kind of nonsense. They're probably going to bury things and come back and say, well, they have to stop that nonsense. I cannot agree that this country has to move forward. But there's a God above. The election will be held very soon, and they'll get what they're looking for. And this country, where it has been moving forward, and people trying to keep it back, God is above. He'll make things happen, and it will happen better than this 5 years.
All right. Thank you, my friend. Beautiful. Hello, good morning. Hello. Hello, good morning. So we lost this one. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Yes, it's breaking up a bit. Yes, good morning, Champagne. Good morning, Sir Michael. Good morning, Mr. Josie.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah, yes. I wanted to say something on the Mia Mottley conversation. I think Champagne said a lot of prime ministers and people before have spoken on it. But I think Mia Mottley went a bit further insofar as saying what she could do about it. And she said that we will not be supporting those artists. So I think by that she might say to some kind of training or probably getting sponsorship to go overseas. These people will not be afforded those things. And I think that is the step we need to take with the artists concerning the lyrical content of music nowadays. We need to take a harder stance against those artists because they are of the opinion that they have no responsibility. They could just express themselves however it is they want. And I think what Mia Mottley said is a The thing I would like to say concerning that is that I would like to see our Prime Minister being a little more vocal when things are going wrong in the country, like Mia Mottley is doing. Because if you do not highlight it, then it is kind of like a tacit endorsement of what is going on, and we must not let those things go unanswered, as if it is okay for people to do whatever they want in the country. And we need our people at the top to come out when these things have been said, and at least make a statement letting them know that we will not tolerate this on any level, and we will do what we have to do to try to curtail it, nip it in the bud. Okay? So that is what I want to say. Yes, thank you very much. And so Michael, I wanted you, if you can, to elaborate a little more for Joe Blow what exactly a pile is, and how it's, how it's going about, how they go about putting it in or whatever, or what it's going to achieve if they put in those piles. I think that's the two things I wanted to mention on your program this morning. Thanks a lot. But great program so far.
Thank you, Colin.
Thank you.
He would like for you to explain to the ordinary man what a piling is really about.
Okay, I can do that right now. The piling,
what piling is really about.
Yeah, well, first of all, that's to be able to stabilize the terminal. It's a very big terminal with a lot of weight, and the ground has to be well tested to ensure that there's no cracks. So these piles go down 40 feet into the ground. They go down 40, and then on top of that, that's how the building stands on those piles. They're not just put on them, because one should bear in mind there's a river close to Ita Fort. They have had flooding in the area, so that is why it took that much time. Where very high-paid and high-caliber people from the United States came down, and they did all the ground testing, and as a result of that, all the piles are being driven. And it's an expensive process, but it's very, very essential to ensure that when that terminal is down, it's not going anywhere, it's staying right there.
It's concrete and steel, eh?
Concrete and steel, yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's take a call. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning,
Josie, Thomas, Shasni, all of you all.
Yes, thank you.
I'm calling from Derry, sir.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Yes, sir. I'm talking about the biggest problem we have right now is to get that devil out of Beaufort. Dr. Kenny Anthony. This man has done nothing for Beaufort. Has killed that place. I am from Beaufort.
Yes.
Has killed that place. Has damaged that place. Has sold all the factory shelves where the girls used to come in and make some money. Where during the end of the day, see buses come in and pick them up. They had so many factories in Beaufort. Nothing for all these years you've been there, and you still want to go up for election? That guy had no shame. I think, Dr. Anthony, you should just pack up and say, look, I resign.
Yeah.
You have put our country in too much mess. You have done things that you should go to jail. That they should hold you responsible for. When you came in, the people voted for you willingly, wholeheartedly. Now is your time to go. Go away. And let Mr. Shasney take over the country, because he's doing a damn good job.
That is right.
Beaufort is moving now. The only thing that was there during the days of John Compton was Halcyon, Iwanora, the Bury and these places. You brought nothing to Beaufort, but only sidewalk.
One sidewalk, huh?
Why don't you take a back fit, give St. Lucians a chance, and allow the country to go forward?
Caller, you are so correct. Look at what is going on. Can you imagine that with the call centers down there, $4.5 million a month in wages, and they're still talking their nonsense about the STEP program? I've said repeatedly and repeatedly, today, mothers have taken care of their children, sent them to school, and they can now take a job at Ojo Labs and earn $3,000 a month. That money can now keep their parents alive. Their parents don't have to go and cut grass on the side of the road, because their children can now give them the same money and more in a more respectable fashion than they're doing.
So, Michael.
Sir.
If one man could kill the entire dock of Beaufort for one crane, what he wouldn't do.
Yeah, one crane.
What he wouldn't do. I am from Beaufort. I voted for Dr. Kenny Anthony when he came in. But Dr. Kenny Anthony is a disgrace. He should be ashamed of himself. He went to the Beaufort Secondary School. And when he came in, he said Beaufort would be the new frontier. Beaufort is not the new frontier. Beaufort is the backward frontier. And if it's not for our Prime Minister, it would be going nowhere.
Caller, let me say something to you. You are so right. In 1961, I was the shipping manager for Geese, and I used to come to Beaufort every Wednesday night when I was responsible for the loading of the banana ships. And I'm sure, I don't know how old you are, whether you remember that. And all those
I'm 74 years old. My father worked for Geese Industry as a manager. I will not mention my name, who am I, but I'm sure you know me.
You're 40, how old are you? You're 40 years old?
74.
I'm 74.
70. Well, then you should know about it. I mean, I was down there. How many hundred people with the women would be loading the bananas, okay? And all those buses that were down there, the trucks bringing in the bananas, they were lined off all along New Dock, you know? I would get there from 8 o'clock in the night and work till 6 in the morning, then leave on the ship and come to Castries and load again in Castries. From here we'd go to Martinique and load. Okay? So, you know, what you're saying there, I understand all of that. Beaufort has gone backwards. That's what it has gone.
It has never gone forward.
Yeah.
And Dr. Kenny Anthony took it more backward instead of he taking it forward.
But caller,
Beaufort have another sportsmen, and they don't have nothing in Beaufort.
Caller, when he said frontier, when your front is torn, when there's a tear, that's an embarrassment and a shame, eh? So you all didn't listen.
You know, where you wouldn't. I don't mention my name.
No, it's okay. I don't want to know your name. I'm saying when Dr. Anthony has said Beaufort is the new frontier, you all didn't understand when the front is torn. It's a disgrace. You don't have clothes on you, know. You're exposed when you're front.
But you know, my brother, let me say something to you. Where Beaufort is today, I mean, and nobody foresaw what was going. Even myself, I'm prepared to admit, I didn't foresee what this current Prime Minister was going to do when he brought in Ojo Labs and also brought in the people from Jamaica. I mean, okay, let us even go when Beaufort had its heyday at the docks and how many people were working. But today, you imagine that I think it's going to, Ojo Labs has something like, between Ojo Labs, about almost 2,000 people are working down there now. That's a lot of people and bringing a lot of revenue. And I was in Beaufort last week and I met a senator and he said there are young ladies from Castries going down now to work at the call centers and renting small apartments in the area. It may not be a big thing now, but if that's a trend, that's a great stride for Beaufort. Great.
It's a big thing now because Beaufort had nothing.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because
all right.
Dr. Kenny Anthony killed Champion, I'm an ex-taxi driver. You should know.
Okay, I didn't recognize the voice, but maybe I know you, yeah.
Yeah.
Might know you.
And it's time. You should give somebody a chance.
Yeah, I believe that too, caller.
And I can tell you, caller, one thing. I'm sure you'll be around in 2 years' time. And when you see that turbot is finished, let me tell you something, that will be the real pride and joy for Beaufort and the people of St. Lucia.
The man, they had a road going from the cemetery to go across to Labrie. So if something had happened to the other road, we used to take that road
As
and get on the Labrie road.
Street
the man
corner.
went and put a toilet right on the bridge.
Yeah.
Killed the market.
Don't worry, caller. That area is crying for development.
Josie, I am telling you, I'm a born devotion.
That's okay.
And I don't like that at all. He should at least resign.
Yeah. But he'll not do that. You know, these guys.
Don't be ashamed.
No,
you serve your term. Go.
He's ashamed. He'll not do that. He's not do that. He'll prefer to die than do that.
All right, caller, I have some more calls.
Anyway,
thank you very much.
All
right.
Okay,
I just wanted to read what someone called about the pile. It says a pile is basically a long cylinder of strong material such as concrete that is pushed into the ground to act as a steady support for structures built on top of it.
That's what it is. That's why it says steel and concrete, you know.
Thanks for holding, caller. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Champion.
Good morning to you.
Yes, how you guys doing?
We're doing okay. Thank you.
Great program as usual, Champion. But while listening to you guys, I took the understanding of all what is happening with this government, with the different concepts, the different ideas.
Yeah.
I happened to look at one. I'm unable to see it on TV, so I was looking at it on Facebook.
Yes.
And I noticed someone say, well, persons are concerned of the burden of paying all of these debts of the next generation. So it dawned on me to say, well, life is about risk-taking, right? So if you have to think of what will happen 20 years from now, that means you're keeping yourself back.
Amen.
And it's like, it also dawned on me, I'm like, but in life we have to implement, because implementation is the key. You need to take the risk. You need to start.
I love that word, the risk.
It's like having a child. It's like you have your daughter or you have a child, right? And this child lives to see 100 years. Are you going to say that you're not going to invest into this child? Are you going to say that you're not going to care about this child's well-being? Are you going to say that you as a parent are not going to equip yourself in order to continue providing for this child, so this child could live to see many more years and do what they can do, whether it be for their own personal life, whether it be for the country? It's like persons are saying, what if? And the burden of all of these loans and having it to be left onto the generation. And I believe that is keeping yourself backward based on what I saw when I would notice the person wrote this. And it's like the understanding of risk-taking is like a fear, but then if you believe, obviously, you need to continue to invest in yourself. You have a loan. All you have to do, if you have a job and you have a small loan, you need to appreciate the job that you have to be able
so you could pay the loan. Amen, Colin. Very well said.
In order to pay the loan. And it is clear that this government has done so much and has been able to pay their loans. That is why they continue to get investors to invest in them. Whether or not the majority will not see it, but that is what it is there. It's like, again, comparing it to having a child and having a child to live to see 100 years. Sometimes their parents go before them, but the parents will put things in place so that child could continue living their life. And that is how I compare development and investing and getting things from one step to another. And I just felt like calling and saying so, because at the end of the day, the what if brings in negativity and it does not move you forward. It does not continue to provide that vision as to what you can do to alleviate the plight, the stress, the bills, whatever the case is. We have so many talented people that does stuff for themselves. So at the end of the day, on a government standpoint, it's risk-taking, but the implementations are there in order to pay the bills. It would not be the burden of the next generation because the implementations are there. And the only way that we could continue to alleviate the stress and the payments of all what we are doing right now is to continue to lead the United Workers' Party in government. Because we rescued St. Lucia last election.
That's right.
The 6 is around the corner. And remember, SLP was then in power. Then UWP came in power. St. Lucians gave them the okay to run the affairs of the country. And it has been from day one in the areas, everything that this government has done. So what is this that is not clear? It is clear. The understanding is there. The work is there. Everything is there.
Everything is there, caller.
Getting into something and understanding what it will be 10 years from now, rather than saying the generation, the burden. There will be no burden because the implementations are there. In order to take the risk, you have to put things in place to then take the risk.
Caller, let me say something. You're so correct. You said something a while ago which really hit home. You know, for instance, let me be a little personal, okay, of my life. My children, I insisted that they get a relatively good education, taught them the facts of life, and I'm very proud here today that my children have contributed to society in Central. My daughter is a qualified individual in the tourism marketing. Through her, the hotel survives, and we're contributing by employing 250 people at the hotel.
Yeah.
My son, he has taken this thing to heart, and look at what he's done. So in other words, it was an investment I made in my children that St. Lucia is benefiting from it today.
That's right.
And you're 100% right.
Exactly. It's like comparing it to a child, and that's what came to my mind. And I'm not that young, you guys' age. I'm 30 years. But at the end of the day, sometimes you need to think outside the box.
Yes.
But you're an intelligent 30.
That's right.
Stop thinking of what will be in 10 years from now. Do what you can now.
Caller, let me give you a little historical background to what you're just saying there. In your grandmother's time, or your great-grandmother's time, St. Lucia was poorer, a lot poorer than it is today. Very, very few people could have gone and bought things cash, furniture, etc. People had to save. They had to save, and it took time to save. I remembered as a child growing up, when you didn't have money to buy a pair of shoes, there are certain places used to say, we put the shoes at school. So you pay a $20 down, etc., etc.
Layaway.
A layaway, right? And that is how it was done, because you had to accumulate the money. After a while, St. Lucia began to develop a little. And I remember when the Syrians first came here, they started giving credit, cloth, they took your name and different things, and then started giving higher purchase. So people began to get the things that they needed, the household things that they needed, without having all of the money to pay for it. And then the banks started relaxing a little so that you can buy the goods you needed, a refrigerator or what you wanted for your home. And all of these things have developed over time. And more people are acquiring things that they need, including motor cars, etc., without having the cash money or all of the money to pay for it, which you had to do long time. So the world has changed. That's not only true about St. Lucia, it's true now, and it was not that true in your grandmother's time. So the world has changed, and the way people invest now is to go to the bank if they have their education, if they know what they want to do, and the bank manager agrees, they will invest in themselves and in whatever industry or business they want to start.
Yeah.
And over time, once they work hard and they are determined, they will make the money to pay back the bank and they'll become successful.
That is simple. That is simple because you need to direct yourself, your path. You need
Exactly.
to path. No one can create your path.
Last week, I don't know if you are listening to this program, I heard Mr. Shasney, Sir Michael Shasney, say he doesn't owe anybody, no bank, nobody, nothing. And it can happen to anybody who works hard, who is focused, and who is honest about what they're doing. That's the point I wanted to make, okay?
Thanks a lot, caller.
And it just boils down to the risk-taking and implementation. You create your path for where you want to reach. And I just wanted to say so. I noticed the person is still commenting on the live, and it's not about the generation bill. The generation will not have a bill because...
But this negative comments on Facebook will take us nowhere.
Nowhere, caller. Thanks a lot. Have a good day. Very intelligent contribution. Thank you very much. She always makes great contributions. A beautiful morning to you. Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Okay, wonderful program.
Thanks.
Good morning, Mr.
Yeah.
Josie.
Yes, good morning, ma'am.
Morning.
And Mr. Shasney.
Thank you.
But the young lady happened to call before me.
Yeah.
That's why it's all pretty much almost what she was going to say. But I'm saying, when I look at the two administration, I saw the previous administration, they did the same thing. They took loans. They took loans for them to do a lot of stuff. And then the thing that is being thrown around is that it's like we should not be taking loans or what have you. But how will the government meet some of the demands or the things that the people of the country are crying for?
Yeah.
You need hospitals. You need a road. Do we have gold?
We should probably print. We should probably print money.
What do we have? We have nothing. So we have to find a way. But the difference between them is the government come and they tell you, this administration tells you, this is what we are going to do. We take a loan to do that, but this is how we are going to pay it back. Or in how many years, and we will be able to pay back that money.
Yeah.
They don't do that. The other side don't do that.
No, they don't.
You don't know what they're doing.
And they don't manage the loans properly, caller. That is the thing. They don't manage their business properly.
Oh, that's right. As a young person, I started very young, working from 17 years. By the time I was about 35 years, I had my home. I got land from UDC. My husband and I were able to pay that land without a loan. But we took a loan to build a house. By the time we were 35 years, between 35 and 40 years, they had already cleared our house loan.
That's very good.
That's wonderful.
That's very good.
Very wonderful.
Land, we bought our vehicles. And right now we have no loan.
Very good.
Okay,
very
and
good.
So, you know, people we will have to do that.
And caller, if you don't mind me saying, without the loans, you would never be able to achieve that home and those cars.
And we did not practice. We went through difficulties. There were times I lose my job from one job to another, factory job to another place. But you manage what you are doing.
Ah, that's the problem.
You manage it.
That is the problem.
You have a loan to pay. You don't go and do nonsense, travel, buy clothes, you manage.
You stay focused on what you are doing. You don't go and do nonsense.
That is their problem, caller. And they are unable to get a loan. They have no financial institution that trusts them. And even if they get a loan, they do not know how to manage the money.
That's right.
That's all these people are about.
That is what St. Lucians pretend that they don't understand. I'm sure the average person understands that, you know. The average labor supporter understands that very well. You can't take people's money, whether it's from the bank or personal loan or family loan, and say you're going to build a house, and then you do nonsense. You
begin to that party thing that you're supporting the party and you have endless crossover, and that thing is just
that's
so much when you see. Another thing that bothers me is, you know, I am so pleased with what from the Barbados Prime Minister. I am so pleased, and I just want our government, our people in leadership. You know, when things happen, I need to see them. I need to see them come out and say, this is what happened, this is what took place, this is what, and then, you know, you should say, I am not standing for this.
Yes. Exactly.
You need to come out and say that. And so I love the Prime Minister, and I know he might be very busy all over the place trying to get things done because there's an election coming up. But I think sometimes we need to hear his voice.
Yeah.
We need him to come out.
Need to hear his voice in that regard.
In that regard. In that regard. We need to hear his voice. We need to hear our responsible for the police. We need to hear his voice. We need to hear people speak. You know, that's what it soothes us.
And caller, I asked that question to my officers, and I know they're listening, and I've asked the question all the time, and the response that I get that the police officers are not obligated to disseminate that type of information all the time.
Yeah, I understand that.
Now that's what they're saying. I didn't accept that caller as a St. Lucian or a layman. I didn't accept it. I believe if we have an escalation in crime or whatever threats, there is a responsibility of the chief to come out and say something to the general public. I've been saying that for a long time. I may be wrong.
We need to hear that, and I would appreciate that. But other than that, kudos to our Prime Minister.
Thank you.
And the teams, they're doing well.
Amen, caller.
Thank you.
All right, have a great day. Thanks a lot. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Are you there? I can hear you.
Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Champagne.
And to you as well.
Do you recall that?
And I'm not here alone. I'm here with two other gentlemen.
Oh, I'm so very sorry, gentlemen.
That's all right.
Pardon my bad manners. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Champagne, do you recall some time ago you asked me whether I was satisfied that people were seeing through the St. Lucia Labour Party?
Yes, we did have that conversation.
And I told you to some extent, but I'm not quite satisfied. At the speed at which it's happening.
Yes.
I was talking to a gentleman 3 days ago, an elderly gentleman, and he told me that he has never voted the UWB and they lost. But this time he will not vote.
Yeah.
Because they will lose.
Okay. And did he give you
and
the reason?
I asked him why. He said that he had a gentleman came to visit him, and he claimed that he's a supporter of the United Workers' Party. However, his party has behaved in such a manner since COVID that they are sure to lose the election. And here the reason. That is why, Champagne, we always have to be alert, you know, that the government, immediately after COVID was discovered, shut down all the small businesses but allowed the hotels to operate.
That guy probably was out of St. Lucia.
So Champagne, you know, sometimes the most unusual things are said.
Yeah.
And if you are not on guard, they might be able to sneak through.
And he's a supporter of the United Workers' Party, and that is the information he got.
That's what he claimed.
My goodness.
Yes.
Yeah.
But very quickly on another matter, Champagne. You will recall that some time ago, the United Workers' Party marched against the King Anthony administration.
Yeah, it was because of the height of fuel.
High price of fuel.
Yes, sir.
Now, Champagne, everything is done within a particular context. I was part of that demonstration, not because my party asked me to demonstrate, because I was convinced that it was the right thing to do. Because at that time, the price of fuel, crude oil on the market was at rock bottom. And the Prime Minister kept the price of fuel in St. Lucia at what it was.
$15 something a gallon.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Now, what was most intriguing and most foolish, you remember the Prime Minister raised the price of fuel once, and he said he's doing it because there are people who do not pay their licenses and they have to buy fuel anyway. Now, Look at this. There are people who travel 50, 60, and 70 miles a day to work and back. And these people are law-abiding citizens. You are having them to pay extra money for traveling. Don't you think that this is unfair to those law-abiding citizens? Now, suppose these people decided, well, okay, you took the decision, you said that the people who don't pay their licenses must pay the gas, so that they can travel. Okay, so I'm not paying my license anymore. I'll do like the persons, because in their view, the Prime Minister is protecting those persons. You see, Champagne, I'm talking about leadership. You know, you do not do things to encourage people to break the law. You understand?
I'm there with you. I'm there.
And this is the behavior of the Prime Minister. He's either afraid to tackle the people up front, like he did in his speech where he asked the people to give the people a chance for Christmas.
Oh, for a moment I thought you were talking about the current Prime Minister. You're speaking of the former Prime Minister.
No, I'm talking about the former Prime Minister, because I am talking about the action which the current party took against the former administration.
All right.
All Kenny Anthony could have done was to tell the police to step up their behavior and ensure that those persons who are not paying their licenses pay their licenses. So, you know, that is the kind of leadership that St. Lucia had
pre-2016.
2016.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to see that again, Paula.
And we want to go back.
No, we don't want to go back there. We know that for a fact.
Champagne, I will never stop telling you that when it comes to administration, this man was an utter disgrace to this country.
Yeah. All right, my friend. Thanks a lot. Okay, so we're going to do our final call, but Brother Peter has to leave. Our final call. Hello, good afternoon. All right, so we lost it, this one. Any last words? I realize we only do the last one. Hello, good afternoon.
Champagne, I'm very fortunate to be the last caller.
You are indeed.
Yeah, let me say good morning to Mr. Shaswell. Good afternoon.
Oh, I recognize the voice, yes.
Peter and yourself.
Thank you, sir.
Champagne, the caller before that gentleman there, I think you gave her enough of the bellman. That's my kind of language, what she was saying.
That is right. Yes. She was,
that's my kind of language.
She was spot on.
She was spot on. I'm going to come up with something. You heard the news of what was happening at St. Jude's?
What happened?
OKU. St. Jude's, there was a strike yesterday with the staff in the kitchen. Did not come to work in the morning, and people didn't get their breakfast in the morning, the patients.
Oh, wow, I didn't hear that.
Because there was a strike. He reported some plumbing problems for about a month ago, which was not attended to. Now, you know, it is run by a different board. St. Jude's is almost run by like a sanctuary organization. So when these things happen, still the government will fix and plot for it.
Yes.
All right. Now, something like that happened. I have not heard a statement from the government, and the statement should be put outside there. The statement should be made. The other one is the newborn baby that was burnt. I don't know whether you saw it on the news. Newborn baby burnt. They said they put the baby was feeling cold, so a warm pad was put on the baby's leg, but a warm pad could not have caused that. Burnt. Badly burnt.
Yeah.
not a statement has been made. Now, a statement needs to be made as soon as possible.
That's exactly what the lady was saying.
No. I am saying a statement should be made as soon as possible by the government.
Okay.
And whoever is liable should be taken to task.
I agree.
And when the lady said that information, people say things and we remain quiet and you know, that is not good. We need to take action as early as possible. People want to see ministers who are stern. They speak for the people. You know, and I need that, and I'm saying it on the radio deliberately. A statement must be made as soon as possible.
Listen, caller, I agree with you 100%.
Because so many other things have happened where people are threatening the Prime Minister, saying what they want, and they're going to block road debate. And things are not happening. I cannot stand that in any government.
Yeah, well, you must have heard me, because I know you listen to the program on occasion. You have heard me every morning. The police, I have asked it to the police, and I have said it on my own hair, that those threats, someone needs to come out and address it, say something. We are not asking for your method of investigation. We are asking for you to say something to the general public, and that is falling on deaf ears.
Plus, St. Jude is a hospital, and it's in the news. How can you have workers going on strike because they reported a leakage or some plumbing position, and it's not
addressed?
It has not been attended to, and what the lady was saying is that it has happened before to her. She fell in the kitchen, she's carrying something on, she slid because of the water, and she got burnt.
Yeah, but that should not happen. That should not happen.
Ridiculous.
That should not happen.
And I'm not taking the ministry to task, you know. I am taking...
Well, you need to get rid of the board.
Because it's a board. It's a statutory organization.
But you know, the buck stops, caller, at
the minister.
At the minister and the government. The Minister of Health, if not the Prime Minister, who is the Minister of Finance, something has to be done. That is how you operate a country.
That's why I think some people do not understand that.
Yeah.
The buck stops with the political directorate.
Exactly.
And
anyway,
what happened? Now, your fellow show needs a name. What name do you all call your show?
Our name, eh?
Yeah, your name there. What name you all call that specific show when Mr. Shafton?
Talking with the. We have it on the screen, you know. Oh, they didn't put it up this morning.
Call it CCJ.
CCJ?
Yes.
Champagne. And Josie.
It's going to be good, yeah.
All right, beautiful.
CCJ, just to say the CCJ.
Okay.
Yeah, it means a lot.
All right, my friend.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
They might think it's something else, caller.
All right, any last words, Mr. Peter, before you leave? I know you have to, you're on the way, both you and...
I have to run, but I will continue to speak on the post-COVID, and I'm very happy about the young lady who called and spoke about the loan and things so.
Yes.
And she's only 30 years.
Yes.
And these are the people we need to hear their voices, correcting people. How can you go forward and you're afraid to take a loan if you are serious about what you're doing?
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Anyway,
all right, thanks a lot, Mr. Peter. Last words from you, Mr. Michael. So, Michael.
Yeah. Well, as usual, I want to thank our listeners and the people who participated today and were able to give the public an update on all the progress in the country, the terminal, the St. Jude's Hospital, and also the water treatment plant, because these things are very important that people should know, and we should all look forward for August 1st for the grand opening of the Grace treatment plant, and around the end of August the opening up of the new WASCO headquarters in Beaufort.
Yes.
So these are all good pluses, and also I spoke last night, I forgot to mention to the MP in Soufrière, who gave me an update on the new road in Esperance, which is going very well, and he's quite happy about that. And also I was down in the Choiseul area, and the Saldibus Road, which was a little delayed, has now taken on some speed, and that is going ahead quite well. So, St. Lucia, we're on the right track, and I understand that in the next 30 days, the roundabouts should be nearing completion in the Rodney Bay area, because again, we all saw the water lines on the side of the road for a very long time. 60% of the water was being wasted between Monchy and Grosley, and over $1 million in new pipes have come in. They're all put in now, and now that's in, the roads can be paved and the roundabouts can be completed.
That is great stuff.
So, St. Lucia, till next Wednesday, we are signing off. Thank you.
All right. And thank you, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Once again, St. Lucia, we have come to the end of our program this for another Wednesday, and we hope to have you on board with us next Wednesday. My phone's yeah, it is, yes. It is brand new. That is why. Thank you very much, St. Lucia, for tuning in once again into another program. Well, for me, I'm not going to do any overtime today. I have to try to go down to the south. So I will see you tomorrow morning, God willing. But coming up with the rest of the program, we have our Notoya coming up at 1 o'clock with a beautiful program. Then after that, the man Dr. Secret will be with us. And then Miss Nancy Charles this evening on Vibe. So we have a packed house for you today. Hope you enjoy all of the programming here today. And may God bless you. Have a great afternoon, St. Lucia. We love you from Sky FM. Hello, welcome to the program Champagne in the Morning with yours truly, your favorite guy, Champagne. Join me here every morning from 8 a.m. until 12 noon. We also live on GBD channel 115 and live stream on the internet. Join me as we discuss all of the current events of our beautiful country and around the world. You too could get into the program by calling in 456-0931 or 485-0931. Thank you for tuning in. Join me 8 a.m. to 12 noon.
It is with much thanks and effort that we are here today to make this valuable donation to the fishermen of Ancillary. There are some over 30 boat owners in this community, and fishing, no doubt, is a very, very big part of the livelihood of the people of Ancillary. I want to, on behalf of the government of St. Lucia, and myself, I want to donate this to the fishermen of Ancillary, and I am very happy, and I hope that you guys will put this into very good use.
On behalf of the Ancillary Fat Fishers, I would like to say thank you to Mr. Dominic Fede for providing us with a timely donation of the ropes we have here.
I want to say thank you to the minister for donating us that rope for the fad, and that's going to bring a little income during the COVID time. And I want to say thanks a lot again.
So when we talk about members on the opposite side wanting to do some kind of audit, I have to say to you, your march would be a great place to begin. What was the purpose of that? I mean, did you not know that despite the fact that we were going off a state of emergency, that the whole region was still in a state of alert? And that this anxiousness to go out and show people that, I think, what was it called? The greatest march ever in the history of St. Lucia. So it was never about the people, it was always about yourselves.